Are you familiar with windmills?
Yes.
Windmills? Okay. I found a windmill on the cattle station that I came across, and this windmill happened to have all the blades taken off it, and they were laying on the ground. So I used all these blades to make a little shelter. It looked like a space capsule by the time I'd finished with it, and I lived in there for the first 4 days that I actually had shelter. And then after that, I came across the first waterhole that I came across after walking about another 25-30 kilometres, and I actually dug a hole in the side of the waterhole, in the dam bank wall, and I lived in this hole for 10 days.
10 days. Why were you there for 10 days and not walking?
Okay, basically because I had no shoes and socks, I was in bare feet, and the terrain is very, very rough, mostly rocks and very, very harsh shards of grass. So my feet got very, very, very badly hurt, and I ended up camping on this dam, the first waterhole that I found for 10 days, just so I could recuperate a little bit. That's where I first started eating a few different types of vegetation that I found.
You don't want to leave that place.
No, I didn't.
You can't
no, I did not want to leave this place at all. I tried so many times to leave this place. I actually, the first couple of times, basically the only reason I left is because I thought if I stay there, I'm not going to. I won't be found. You know, I actually felt trapped in thinking that I had to stay there.
People find it very interesting, especially the menu that you were getting there. Asya wants to know approximately how many lizards and insects would you find in one day? How much were you feeding yourself, really?
Basically, once I found the dam, my menu consisted of frogs, leeches.
Leeches?
Yes.
Leeches suck blood,
right?
Yes,
yes. And you have to eat these very, very quickly, otherwise they bite you on the inside of the mouth. So you have to eat them very quickly, and they're like.
What do they taste like?
They're just literally like raw meat. They've got a bloody taste, but they're like gristle, very, very chewy, very tough. So you have to chew them very fast because they actually bite you on the inside of the mouth. So frogs, lizards, leeches.
Frogs just like that, or you would drag them in the sun?
Frogs I would catch maybe 6 or 8 a day. There's 2 different types of frogs: brown frogs and green frogs.
Which ones are more tasty?
The brown ones taste better than the green ones. I don't know why. I think the green frogs are more tree frogs, and the brown frogs used to live around the waterhole. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but the brown frogs definitely tasted better than the green ones. And I would catch them, kill them, and then hang them on a piece of wire in the sun, let them dry out, and then they turn into little froggy crisps, basically. And I would eat them after they dried out. Grasshoppers, caterpillars. There's a few different types.
After some days, then you started having, you could point out your favorite.
Yes.
You started having some preferred food.
Exactly right. There was 3 or 4 main types of vegetation that I was eating.
Yeah.
I named them myself. They have specific names.
But they're not edible.
No, they are edible. They are edible. It was strange. A couple of the plants that I found are actually bush foods, so to speak. As far as the Aboriginals are concerned, they are actually edible plants. I just got very, like I said, I got very lucky.
I think it's God's miracle that, sometimes you wonder, how do animals survive in deserts? What are they doing in deserts?
Exactly right,
Why?
Right.
Because if ever you are stuck,
yes.
So there is food.
Yes, there is
Amazing. Food. She has a very nice question.
Yes.
Were there times when you would just lose hope completely? So what was that one thing that kept you going and put you back on your feet?
The one thing that kept me going was the hope that I would actually see my family and friends again. There was a few times there where I actually thought that it was all over, I was going to die, and I felt like my spirit had broke, basically, and it's what upset me the most was the thought of not actually seeing my family or friends again. I wasn't married at the time, so the thought of not being married and not having children, all the things that I all of a sudden had missed, which I'd never thought about before, were now on my mind, and the fact that I'd never experienced being married or having children, for some reason, it was...
You think you're a new person now? You think differently?
Very, very differently. I cherish every day. Everybody should cherish every day they have on this planet.
ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. यही लेसन है इसका कि जो दिन आपके पास जितनी जिंदगी, जो कुछ हमारे इर्द गिर्द है, पानी, खाना, हमारे families. एक चीज का शुक्र अदा करना चाहिए. Okay, this part where I see, you were how much? What did you weigh before when you came down?
When it happened, I weighed 106 kilos.
106 kilos. That's a bit overweight.
Oh, actually,
no, for your height it's fine.
No, I'm 6'3", and
then it's fine.
Yes, and when they found me, I weighed 46 kilos, so I lost 60 kilos.
46 kilos you had reached.
Yes, that photo, I weighed
106 kilos से 46 इनका weight रह गया. My goodness, मतलब तकरीबन 50 kilo गायब. So you could feel bones. What is it like to be that skinny?
Unbelievable. You find bones in your body that you never knew existed, basically. Every day, after the 6th or 7th week, every day I just kept getting thinner and thinner, and every day a new bone would stick out of my body somewhere. You could literally count every bone in my body towards the end. As you can see by the picture, every bone in my body was protruding out. I was literally skin and bone. That saying, skin and bone, for the first time in my life, I understood what that meant.
Though you were eating something and there was a little water, but still...
No, but that's the only thing that kept me alive, Nadia. It was the fact that I was drinking water every day, and even though I was eating frogs and leeches and lizards, I was putting food into my system, which kept all my organs working. This is the only reason I stayed alive.
मतलब कहने को इंसान के बस organs काम कर रहे थे, लेकिन और कुछ नहीं था. कह रहे हैं कि 106, कुछ लोगों ने, मतलब उस्मान ने कहा कि उर्दू में ट्रांसलेट करें, मैं कर रही हूँ, कि 106 किलो इनको वजन था जब ये जिस दिन ये लैंड किए उस जगह, और उसके बाद जब 71 डेज बाद बाहर आए तो 46 kgs रह गए थे, बस स्किन और बोन्स. एंड इन दिस कंडीशन you can't walk. And
No. Basically, I started to lose so much weight when I went from the first waterhole that I found. I tried to walk to find somebody after I left that first dam, and on my way from the first dam to the second dam, I actually passed out 3 times from lack of energy and dehydration. I literally woke up cooking in the sun, and the last dam that I found, I actually crawled probably 500 or 600 meters to get to. I couldn't walk anymore. I literally could not walk anymore. So I crawled about 500 or 600 meters when I found the last dam, and that scared me. I was not leaving that dam.
So tell us about the animals. Then when you made this shelter.
Yes.
रिकी मुझे बता रहे थे कि उसमें छोटी सी खिड़की थी, वो घर दिखाए जिसमें ये रहते थे, शेल्टर है, उसमें छोटी सी खिड़की सी थी, और उसमें अक्सर कुछ बड़े वाइल्ड जानवर आके चेक भी करते थे कि अंदर बंदा केड़ा है. और इन्होंने क्रॉस ऊपर लगाया गया क्योंकि इसको you had made this, like your grave also, that if ever somebody visits, so they will know somebody was there.
I was close to death, and basically
यहाँ रहते थे, you used to live here?
Yes, I lived. This is what I lived in for the last 7 weeks that I was actually
it is like a grave. You were living in a grave.
Well, I thought it was going to be my grave, so I put the cross on top of my humpy to mark the fact that it was possibly my grave, and in the hope that someone would come along and find this on top of the dam and sort of think, okay, what's this doing here, and then hopefully come and find my remains, and then my family would have something to bury at the end of the day. So. But fortunately that didn't happen. But at the time I was a bit worried, because if anybody's familiar with Australian wild animals, we have dingoes in Australia.
Wild animals, dingoes, which can
similar
kill
to
you.
hyena. Oh yes, they hunt in packs. They're a pack dog, and they're very wild, very vicious. And towards the end I had a pack of dingoes hanging around, and I actually thought that they were sizing me up, so to speak, for their next meal. And I actually started collecting rocks from around the dam, and every night when I went inside my humpy to go to bed, to go to sleep, I used to pack rocks up around the entrance, so if I did die during my sleep or overnight, then the dingoes wouldn't be able to get in and eat my body, and again there would be some remains left, so someone would have something to bury, my family would have someone to bury. So, yeah. And that's what was going through my mind towards the end.
And then no light also. I'm just imagining you living in this grave.
Very dark.
After 6 there would be no light.
No, very dark.
And we've seen in videos where you can, take 2 stones, rub them, and make
Nadia,
fire.
I tried everything. I tried rubbing sticks together, sparking rocks together. It's not as easy as they make it look in the movies. Not as easy. It's actually quite a process, I've since found out. So there's a whole process behind starting fire.
The right kind of rocks.
The right kind of rocks, the right kind of grass. There's about 5 or 6 key elements involved in starting fire. And unless you know all of these, it's actually quite difficult.